neck of false teachings and challenge Euro-Christian ideologies head-on. We stand on facts over beliefs, insertions and assumptions as we journey together on a path of pure righteousness, guided by true African spirituality or Alkebulan wisdom. Each episode is part of a powerful movement to reclaim our identity, uplift our community, and walk in the power of truth. Tune in nightly at 9 p.m. for transformative insights and hard-hitting discussions as we unmask hidden truths and rise to our fullest potential.
Rise to our fullest potential. What it do, y'all? It's your brother man from the motherland coming to you guys live from the NY, back with another one of that ROD pod. For those that don't know who I am him, Junes, the NBIC. And again, I'm representing that ROD. Last but not least, got to give a shout out to the creators, the ancestors, and you guys for your continuous support, leaving all the feedback, the positive, the negative, all things is respected and needed, because it allows me to do what I do best, and that is to continue keeping my foot on every single person's neck, all of it, from religion to spiritual collision. We ain't here, but we're gonna have a good one today, and some of you guys will be offended. For those that's weak-minded, very sensitive, very emotional, this is not the place for you to be, because we're going to ask the questions that needs to be asked. And that question today is quite simple. Was your God in the Biblos ever loyal to Moses? Matter of fact, let's turn it up a notch. Was the God in the Biblos ever loyal to anybody within the Bible? I want you to think about that. I want you to really process what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. Was the God of the Biblos loyal to any one of his servants? Think about it. He allowed his only so-called begotten son to get killed for a bunch of sinless individuals who still committing sin to this day. So he wasn't loyal to Jesus. He's not even loyal to his wife, because in the saying it says, in the name of the Father, then the Son, then the Holy Spirit. So the Holy Spirit is supposed to be feminine. She's not even regarded as the important factor in creating the Son. But, you know, that's another question. What about Adam and Eve? You know, Adam is going to be obedient. You know, Eve was supposed to be obedient. But you also knew that the devil was there. And you knew that the devil placed a plant, a tree, a fruit, whatever. And you had the power to just remove it, but you decided to leave it there, knowing that Adam and Eve was not mentally, physically, spiritually built enough to be able to understand the riddle that was being given by the devil unto Eve. Why? In Isaiah 59, you said that, you know what? I save that for another note. I save that. You're not ready for this. So let's just stay here. You allow all the so-called disciples to be so-called martyred. You kick Saul from his position after you placed him there. You double-cross the Pharaoh because it was you that was making him change his decisions, so you wanted to harden his heart so you can prove a point. I mean, it doesn't show a lot of loyalty there. You even told Abram to tell his wife that his son is on the verge to be sacrificed, even though it was a test. But you don't play around with somebody's emotion, especially the wife who at 100-something years old finally had a child. And that right there alone lets you know that this is a mystical story and not factual. That right there. That right there. Now, let's bring it back a bit. So you do that to Sarah knowing that she struggled her entire life to have a child, and she finally gets one, and you put her and him to a test to see if they was willing to sacrifice their own child because you wanted a sacrifice. And nobody sees this as a problem. Cool. What about Moses? Now, here's a man, check this out, people. Here's a man that was minding his business, living his best life, being the king of Ethiopia, so they say. And while on a journey minding his business, once again, here comes a man out of the bushes and demand Moses to listen, and told Moses, you need to take these shoes off because you was in holy ground. Like Moses knew where he was at. Cool. So he had the conversation with him. Moses, as afraid as he is, said, I can't take on this task. These people are going to kill me if they find out who I am. This God says, don't worry about it, they ain't gonna do nothing. I'm gonna ensure you nothing is going to happen. And then not only did he say, I'm going to ensure that nothing happens, I'm gonna even allow you to go with your brother. Now, check this out. I really want you guys to process this. I'm gonna show you another mystical mishaps, which you have to be psychologically strong to catch it. So Moses fled Egypt when he was 18. He was gone for 40 plus years. Then he gets encountered by God. And all of a sudden now, my mic went out, guys. My apologies. I gotta charge it. Hold on. Let me put this back on the charger. So, Moses being gone for 40 plus years, all of a sudden gets into a encounter with a burning bush. The burning bush gives him an obligation, gives him a directive. He says, I can't do that because of X, Y, and Z. God then tells Moses that you need to bring your brother Aaron with you. How the heck did Aaron know how Moses looked, where Moses was, if Moses ran away not to be found for 40 plus years? When it says, according to the book, it says that when he went back to Egypt, he was an old man. So now you're going to tell me that this old man is going to remember how his brother Aaron looked. Oh, you're going to say it's another God phenomenon. Okay. I'm not even going to argue that. Okay? So he goes to the Pharaoh. Now that's like me going to Vladimir Putin every day, every week, and like, yo, let my people go, bro. and Vladimir Putin or Donald Trump or Joe Left Behind or anybody in that position looks at me and says, is this nigger dumb or is he dumb? Get out of here before I kill you with this gun. Now just imagine I'm being told that. I'm being told that. But yet here I am being loyal to your word. Go back again. And he's going back threatening the Pharaoh. Listen, he like, yo, if you don't do this, this is what's going to happen to you. Pharaoh like, you for real? Yeah, all right. This is what the God is making Moses do. Moses go through with it. Bust his behind, etc., stand 10 toes down with the God of the Bible, the Biblos. Then, miracle happens. The Red Sea parted. He set the people free. Now he got over 100,000 people in his care. They bickering, they backbiting, they going off, they doing everything. Countless times you're ready to kill those people you supposedly saved so they can make a sacrifice, a feast offering unto you. You was getting ready to kill them off. But long behold, here comes Moses saying, nah, chill. You don't want to really save these people, and then to save these people, to let the other nations find out that you saved them just to kill them. You don't want that. This God said, Moses, you're right. He also said to Moses, he said, listen, I'm about to kill everybody and start a whole new covenant with you. This is not me saying this. This is in your Biblos. Then Moses said, you know what? Nah, I'm good. Fine. Moses comes down. Moses stays up there 40 plus days to get all the commandments down. That means in 40 days, this is a relationship that you're having with another person. Because there's no way I'm spending 40 days, 40 nights. I can't see my wife. I can't get no pipe. Nothing. I can't get nothing. Nothing gets right, right? I can't get none of that. So you're telling me those 40 days, Moses being loyal to you, listening to your word, understanding it, getting the true in-depth meanings into why you gave such commandments. Moses come down. Moses leads the people. Right? They wanted food. You did everything. But Moses committed one thing. Because he banged his stick on a rock when he was supposed to talk to the rock. You decided that he can't have any access into the promised land. Now, are you going to tell me that's some level of loyalty? This man did everything I just mentioned and made one mistake. And you deprived him from seeing the so-called promised land. Now, I know a lot of you guys is going to say, wow, damn, I didn't even think of that. Of course you did not. Because when you are under this hypnotic, ideologic, brolic nonsense called Euro-Christian philosophy, you tend to fall off the common sense train, right? Where 1 + 1 must equal 2. If it's not 2, then somebody is lying to you. You see when it rhymes? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? So, because this man committed just one sin, he was unable to have access into the promised land. So you're telling me that this God that's in the Biblos, this is our creator, and he manifests some level of loyalty? That's not loyalty, bro. I guess that's why the Hebrews and all the other individuals that want to be a part of the isms is why they are in the state of mind and the conditions that they are in right now. It explains it. You know, they say that the tree don't fall too far. I mean, the apple don't fall too far from the tree, right? Man, it looked like it fell and it rolled by the wind. Okay, because it's very, very far. Because brothers and sisters don't even understand that they're just literally regurgitating Euro-Christian ideology. Whether you put a black face on it, whether you put a black nation behind it, it's still, the foundation is still of the Euro-Christian ideology. So Moses has no access into the kingdom. Jesus dies for the sinners, but yet everybody's still committing sin. Noah, you put Noah on the ship because he was righteous unto you, but then allow him to curse his child because his child seen his biological father butt naked. Meanwhile, you got naked because you over here sipping on some scissor a little too goddamn much. You see, all of these things that I'm bringing forth is the reason why it's time for us to take a step back from the Euro-Christian ideology. Because it's too much contradictions, too much lies, too much fairy tales, too much instances where you have to stand on belief. Even if it doesn't have facts, you just gotta believe it. And that's all that matters. We have to stay away from that. Millions of people are being murdered yearly because of the ideologies, because of some level of religion, bro. Bombs is still being dropped on people because of some level of religion. Black people is divided and have forgotten exactly what's going on and why we are here because of religion. Divorces, failed marriages, troubled childhood, all of it stems from the ideology that came along with religion. Religion has made you a full-fledged African atheist. You are an El Kebulan atheist. You don't respect the ones that fought for you, that allow your DNA to stand today. You don't respect them. You don't honor them. You don't love them. You rather sacrifice into deities that you know has absolutely no connection with us, and you're going to justify it by changing the names from a Greek to a Hebrew to an African. We are failing and we are losing, and we are losing at a high rate. The people in El Kebulan right now are losser than lost. It's to the point where they are afraid to acknowledge their spiritual powers because they don't want to be given the title of a witch or a warlock or anything, or a wizard or anything that goes against the Euro-Christian ideology, because the Euro-Christian ideology told you if you do not believe in Jesus, anything outside of that is pagan, satanic, demonic, unrighteous, and you will not go to heaven. Meanwhile, the people that's doing such atrocities are the ones that's teaching you heaven stood and stand by the lifestyle of hell. But yet here you are still mimicking the things that they tell you to mimic. And your justification behind that is you believe that the devil does not have the power to convert and change everything. If you believe that, again, belief, this is not the facts. If you believe that, then you are a problem. You are suffering from PTCS. Yes, it's a disorder that it exists, that is still prevalent, still powerful to this very day. You, my boy, you, my sister, you, my brother, you, my family, you, my friends, you, my enemies, anybody. If this is the foundation and the foundation of how you eternalize things, you are the problem. Because we're not going to justify the lack of loyalty that God has for you and us. How does a good Christian girl put all her trust into God, read the Bible from front to back, still gets molested by the same person that put the Bible in her hand? Huh? Where was God to deny that? Where was God to hearken in the heart of that pastor to prevent him from doing such things to an innocent girl who wants to get closer to you? Or the rapists, or the murderers, or those that's shedding innocent blood. Why aren't you taking them out? Why are you allowing them to stand and walk amongst righteous people who's trying to serve you in their best of their abilities? Why is diseases knocking at our door when we're being submissive unto you? I thought you was loyal. Where's the loyalty? If you wasn't loyal to Moses, then you damn sure ain't gonna be loyal to me. If you wasn't loyal to Moses, it's going to be a damn sure you ain't gonna be loyal to me. Shit, you wasn't loyal to your son. You sent him to be murdered by the wolves. How dare you? And told us that if you believe on that son that died for you and you put him first, that I promise you nothing is going to bother you or harm you or hurt you or even kill you. Oh, Donna, that seemed like the biggest sugar honey iced tea I've ever heard in my life. Because guess what? Every day somebody's losing their life. Every day it's like 5 people go and come to Christ, 10 people say goodnight. The cosmos is not even adding up. This is facts. What are we doing here? This is not for us. You still believe this story. To all my El Kebulan kidnaps, you still believe this story. You still believe this story. You're not going to question nothing. You're just going to stand on what you stand on until the end of time. You still going to believe this story. What are you afraid of? What are you scared of? Oh, I know what you're scared of. You scared of being a rebel to the white man. See, the European don't care what you do. The Europeans don't care what you do, what you practice, what you worship, as long as it diverts you right back to their religion. You can say the Jesus is the black man, God is black, and the Father, he's for this particular dark-skinned group of people. You can say all of that. But as long as that foundation remains the same, as long as you're not trying to tap into the voodoos, you're not tapping into the Osseys and the Ogons, and you're not tapping into that, you're perfectly fine with them. Because tapping into that issues, freedom. Tapping into that gives you power. Tapping into that gives you unity. Tapping into that puts you back in line with your family. The El Kebulan kidnaps. Kidnaps and the colonized. That's what that joint do. And this is what they don't want. This is why it's 50 trillion type of demographical denominators, whatever you want to call it, of organizations that's supposedly preaching the same thing, using the same book. It's just a different ideology. Why did the story of Moses ended that way? Because it had to give you suspense. You needed some suspense in out of this so-called story, so you can move forward and see why Joshua was an even better obedient man. Meanwhile, you're not even paying attention to look at all the loyalty that Moses did, the sacrifice that Moses did, and because of one mistake, he was unable to come into the promised land. You know why is that? Because there's no loyalty with that man that is written in the Biblos, because it is not a story of the El Kebulan people. It's not. It's not our creators. Sorry. Nothing to do with us. The characteristics within the book has absolutely nothing to do with us. Our creators won't move like that. Our ancestors don't move like that. We don't move like that. Unless we're taught to move like that. And this is why we're moving like that in this very day. Because you're taught that. Straight out of the what? Euro-Christian ideology. AKA the Book of Caesar. Because you're not being raised to learn to be a better African or El Kebulan. You're being raised to be a servant unto the Roman Empire under the ideologies of Christianity, okay, and Caesar himself. Okay? This is why you are a killer. This is why you wake up and you support things like abortion. That you see nothing wrong with murdering yourself. Man and woman, you're murdering yourself. You know where that self-hate comes from? From the Euro-Christian ideology. You don't want to be black. You want to be fat. The PHAT. You want to be fat. You want to be all in the mix. You want people to love you, to acknowledge you, to cherish the floor you walk on. But your measurements, you measure yourself to the eyes of the oppressor. That's all I wanted to say to you guys. The God of the Biblos was never loyal. Wasn't loyal to Moses, wasn't loyal to Jesus, wasn't loyal to the apostles, wasn't loyal to Isaiah, wasn't loyal to Jeremiah. They boast about dying for the word. They boast about it. All through the Biblos, they talk about it. But the one person he wasn't loyal to was Moses. Moses didn't see the promised land because he banged a stick on a rock instead of talking to the rock. You go ahead and continue believing this fairy tale, and you gonna be the reason why we shall never prevail. This is your hell. Your kingdom awaits you. Go get it. It's your brother man from the motherland, came to you guys live once again. I told you I am him, Tunes the NBIC. If it's your first time, I hope it's not your last time. If it's your second, third, fourth, fifth, or sixth time, that means I'm still on your mind. That means we gotta stay on that grind, because it is about that time. Time for what? Time for you to go get yours. Cause I'm out to get mine. It's your brother man. You understand? And I'ma holler.